What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Tyson, the Gypsy King Fury, and his promoter, Frank Warren. Frank Warren says that Tyson Fury should have the biggest contract in boxing history, and he deserves it. He said this, he said he could get a $1 trillion deal and be worth every penny. Tyson Fury deserves the biggest boxing deal in history after crowning his comeback by destroying Deontay Wilder, claims promoter Frank Warren. Wow. Of course, Fury said he wants the biggest contract in boxing history of the boxing the current $80 million or 80 million pound deal with Top Rank expires. Fury has 2 fights remaining on that deal and is expected to complete his trilogy with Deontay Wilder and then lock horns with Anthony Joshua. So, I think Tyson Fury is going after the biggest deal in boxing history. He wants to break all records, so that's one of them, to make more money. But I think it's kind of counterproductive to say, hey, I'm not in it for the money if you're trying to focus on breaking someone's record for the money. That's just fair to say, because I've heard Tyson Fury say many occasions that, hey, I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not in it for the money. I gave my fight purse, the first Wilder fight purse, to charity, if you guys can remember that. So I think that's kind of like why would you worry about money if you want to break records and make more money than anyone else? So obviously you're trying to do it for a particular reason, unless you're going to take most of it and donate it, which I don't know if he did or didn't. Will that happen? It depends. I mean, the only thing I think Tyson Fury, his stock could only rise if he beats Deontay Wilder again. Now, if he does that, that will be his 4th fight. Then he has one more fight with Top Rank. And after that, he expects to get a deal. Or after that, he decides he wants to fight Anthony Joshua. And like I told you guys before, what Frank Warren is saying is typical. Okay, he's supposed to say that. That's his promote. He co-promotes Tyson Fury. So of course he would say something like that. Of course he would want him to have the biggest contract in boxing history, because that makes Frank Warren one of the richest people in boxing history now, doesn't it? He gets a chunk out of that. So of course he would want that. He's going to promote that. He's going to push for that. But you have to ask yourself, does he really deserve a contract by just beating Deontay Wilder? Because everyone that believes Tyson Fury beat Deontay Wilder before by just outboxing him, that's pretty much where it should be. The manner of how he did it was a lot better, but damn, how much do you give him credit for doing something that he's already done and people think he's already did it anyway? You know what I mean? Sure, he put the stank on it. He crossed the T. He dotted the I by stopping him or convincing the corner to stop that fight for Wilder. But at the end of the day, it's Wilder. Wilder beat really Luis Ortiz and Luis Ortiz only. Okay? So I think the only way that they could possibly have a shot at getting a huge contract is the opponent just stick in there with him. Okay, so the opponent just stick in there with him. Anthony Joshua, he's no longer undefeated. I think that would have been much more. I think that would have been a better win or a better victory or a more incentive to get a bigger contract by beating or fighting an undefeated Anthony Joshua. But Anthony Joshua's undefeated. He's defeated already. Andy Ruiz beat him back in June. Okay, so he's taking on the top fighter, or the 2-time unified champion with Anthony Joshua right now. But it's one of those things where I feel that they have to wait to see what Joshua does. And I've said that before. They have to wait to see what Joshua does, because it's a weird thing to say, but if Tyson Fury expects or thinks he's going to get a certain amount of contract just by beating Deontay Wilder, I don't think that'll happen. I think Joshua has to do a lot more to make that a particular desire or make a claim for Tyson to get a certain amount of money or to sign a certain contract. But you're only signing a contract based on what you've done. And what Tyson Fury's done is not really a lot. But the last thing he done was damn impressive. That's the only thing. But to say he could break all records by the type of inconsistent record that he's had, it's not going to work. Unless he's doing things back to back. If he beats up Deontay Wilder and he fights White and beats White, sure. Okay, then you can take on in your negotiation of fighting Anthony Joshua. Then somebody could come in with a huge contract offer for him for one particular fight. I think it would have to be like a Mayweather-Pacquiao night for him, you know, to break a contract with, or to break records for a contract. I think they shouldn't really focus on the contract. I think they should focus on how much money they can get per fight. Okay, that's what I believe would be a best option for him. Because a contract for someone like Tyson Fury, that his mind is all over the place. He's here one moment, he's there another moment. You know, he's up, he's down, he's in and he's out, he's off, he's on. Putting him in another contract, I don't think that would be good for him, especially when you don't have the opponents for it. I know he's mentioned fighters that he would fight and would, you know, Jarrell Millers and Joe Joyce's and all these guys and Daniel Dubois, but you know, those are not set in stone. Tyson Fury might get sick of that shit by then. That's, you know what I mean? I mean, he's like that. Tyson Fury does what he wants to do. Okay? So I don't think it's really a good idea for him to sign another contract after he's already fought 5 consecutive times. I mean, that's a good role for Tyson Fury due to the fact for the last 3 years before that what type of life he had. Okay, so sure, it's a bounce back and a comeback, but is it going to be a consistent thing? Okay, he might not want to be in another 5-fight contract. So I think it's best for Tyson Fury to, if he's going to fight Joshua, sign a deal with DAZN, and it'll be 2 times bigger than Deontay Wilder's, or you know what I mean? Like if his was 100 million for how many fights? Okay, fine, 400 million for 2 fights, 200 million apiece. I think that would break every record for any fighter. You know, if he was going to do that, he would have to do it in a bulk. Like, hey, you fight Joshua on DAZN, that brings DAZN back, that brings DAZN back home to the U.S. It does a lot for the sport if he gets those 2 fights locked in. The same shit they wanted to do for Wilder, and he let his dumbass handlers talk him out and con him out of the fight. But anyway, does he deserve it right now? No, he doesn't, in my opinion. He doesn't deserve the biggest fight purse, you know. But he does have the undefeated record. It is the intrigue of what he can do and what his potential is. I think we've seen some of the best of Tyson Fury this year, based on that performance against Wilder. But I do think he needs to keep fighting if he expects that type of breaking that record breaker, you know, money grab. But anyway, that's my counterpunch on it. You guys tell me what you think about Frank Warren's comments. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.